Hey guys, welcome to the clubhouse. I'm Billy Jackson, and today's review is gonna be on Joker, Folie, Deux. Okay, now, the first Joker film is in my top 10 comic book movies of all time. I mean, it is a chef's kiss masterpiece. But they weren't going to do another one. The only reason they were doing a sequel is because it made $1 billion. If I remember right, I believe that Joker 1 is the first comic book movie to actually win an Oscar. I mean, there's so many reasons to love the first one. But they weren't going to do a second one, but it made $1 billion, so let's just make a second one. But the reviews started coming out, and people started saying that it wasn't any good. And they said it was going to be a musical, so I really wasn't that interested in it. But I wanted to give it its due since the first one was such a great movie that I thought that this one would be at least, you know, right up under it. And was it? No! This movie is not any good, guys. I'm sorry to say. And that's coming from someone that says the first one is a masterpiece. Like I said, in my top 10 best comic book movies ever. And this movie just really just fell off the cliff. For one thing, you don't make a sequel a musical, unless the first one's a musical. It makes no sense to do a movie the way they did it. Now, I will say it did start off strong, you know, so I started thinking to myself, hey, maybe the reviewers just, you know, just didn't like it just because they thought the first one needed to just be standalone and they're just hating on it. But then as the movie progressed, I found myself being kind of bored and waiting for something to happen. And every time that I thought something was getting ready to happen, they burst into song. You know? It made no sense. And the songs, you know, there are some great musicals out there. I can appreciate a great musical. You know, Little Shop of Horrors, Wizard of Oz. You know, there are some great musicals out there. But this did not need to be a musical. You don't make a musical out of Joker. I mean, one of the best villains probably in comic book history. And you make a musical out of his movie? And the first one was such an exploration on, like, you know, the breakdown of mental illness and stuff like that, you know, and how this could really happen. And it felt realistic, and that's what's one of the things that made it so great. But this movie did not feel realistic at all. All it was him in Arkham Asylum being tormented by the guards. Then the next half of the movie is nothing but court procedure about the murders that he did in the first movie. And they just turned it into a farce. I mean, now, Lady Gaga did do great for what she was supposed to do. You know, they're making a musical, bring Lady Gaga in. At least she has some acting ability. You know, I thought she did really well if this movie needed to be done this way. But it just fell short. I mean, way short from the first one. It's nothing compared to the first one. If you're going into this movie thinking you're going to get what you got in the first movie, you're going to be disappointed, because I was. I'm not going to spoil anything. The end made me so mad that I ran out of the theaters once it went black. I was already disappointed in the movie the whole time watching it. Then to end the movie the way they did, like I said, I'm not going to spoil anything, but I'm so mad at it that I hope, and I never say this, guys, but I hope this movie doesn't make money. Because if they do another one like this, I probably won't even go to the theaters to watch it, to be honest. I mean, I'm not looking forward to anything coming after this, because this was just a farce. And I was truly disappointed. And that's coming from someone that absolutely loves the first one. But they ruined it with this movie. Honestly. It almost feels like the first one's just not even appreciated. You know, they should have just left well enough alone, let it be a standalone movie, and it still would have been top tier. But you make a movie like this to follow up that, and it devalues the first one. So I don't understand why they did it, guys, but I'm going to say, don't go to the theater to see it. I mean, if you're interested, all movies are subjective, so you might like this movie. If you like musicals, you'll probably love it because it's a great musical. But who needs a musical about the Joker? I mean, come on. It just makes no sense. And I'm sorry, I'm kind of just ill about it and kind of just frustrated about it. But I really loved the first one, and I felt like they just really missed the mark on this one, and just very disappointing. And I hate to say that because I was going in hoping it would be great, and the other reviewers were just wrong, but they weren't. They're right. It's not a good movie. At least it's not a good follow-up to the first Joker. That's what I'm going to say. It's not like the movie's terrible. If it was a standalone movie by itself, I guess it'd be great, but I don't know. I'm just frustrated, guys. But it's not all about what I think. What do you think? Have you seen Joker 2? Do you plan on watching it? Let me know in the comments below. Remember to like my videos and subscribe to my channel. And as always, make yourself happy every day. And the only way to do that is to remember the only thing stopping you is you stopping. Bam!